Welcome back, you guys. You just read Woman Overwhelmed by Raccoons. So when most people hear about raccoons, they think back to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket the raccoon, with his gruff personality and, the way that he says things. It's just a cute little raccoon. Everyone just has like a soft spot for him. However, in real life, raccoons, what people may not know is that they're actually quite smart. They have the mental capabilities such as primates, and they're really smart. They're even able to, they have their nice little fingers that they are able to access and pick locks. So most people might think that they might make a cute and lovely pet. However, it could be a disadvantage for the raccoons because it hinders their capabilities in order to learn how to fend for themselves out in the wild, and they lose the abilities on foraging. They just forget, and now they don't know, and they cannot be reintroduced into the wild because of that. And then a woman in America had to find out the hard way as feeding raccoons, because they're so cute, backfired on her as, because they're really smart. And they also have a really great memory. They can remember for many, many years. She was feeding raccoons near her house, and every day she would just put out some food and give them food. Then 1 raccoon, 2 raccoons, 10 raccoons, then they all started coming for this free food. They're like, hey, there's that lady that gives us a free food. And she ended up getting mobbed by these very smart raccoons. So although many people might think it's a good idea to get a raccoon as a pet, maybe don't, because they are not what you might think. They don't really care about humans in the way that you would think, like, oh, maybe a puppy or even a cat might care more for the owner than raccoons. Raccoons, they're meant for the wild. And so it's better to let them be and learn to forage for themselves instead of feeding them. Because in the end, what might happen with these raccoons, she ended up calling the cops to come and help her because she was getting attacked by all these raccoons. And they just basically told her, please stop feeding them. And hopefully they will forget, although it might be a wickedly long time. And if not, they might get euthanized. So it's just better to let the wild stay in the wild. So,
yeah, right.
It's a wild story. Now I can understand why she was overwhelmed. I'd be pretty overwhelmed.
Yeah, with a garden full of raccoons.
Yeah, you're like, oh, where's the rest of where's Star-Lord? Yeah, where's Groot? Were you surprised that raccoons may have intelligence levels similar to primates?
So I think for me, as I said, I've never had like a real first-hand experience with a raccoon before, but I think when they are portrayed in media, they're quite crafty.
Yeah.
Like the one you said that most people would think of Rocket, but the one that comes to mind for me is the raccoon in Pocahontas, who is kind of a little bit silly but very mischievous, and he's good at playing with things in his hands. So I think their ability to kind of unlock things and be very sneaky and remember things, I think it's not too surprising for me. I think it's quite evident, maybe, by their behavior.
I guess it's because it's not the first animal that you think of. When I think of clever, I think the clever fox, right? But they don't even, most people would say like, oh, you're like even a monkey could do that, right? So they don't even make it seem like monkeys are smart. So that's not the first thing that pops into my mind when I think of her, because I just think of their little hands. So if they could pick locks, like, yeah, sure, like, they're maneuvering things.
Yeah, solving a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, no problem. Easy work, light work. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, but also it's not the first thing that I think of. Do you think you would like to try keeping a raccoon as a pet, and why or why not?
No, I feel like my snacks would always be in danger. I feel like I would wake up at 2:00 in the morning and hear that like rustling sound, be like, oh, they're in the biscuits again. Or just I would wake up in the morning to a scene of total destruction in my kitchen. I don't think that they are a good
pet.
Yes. So if you think about when you have a baby, you often put like child locks on your cupboard doors.
Yeah.
Because the baby isn't intelligent enough to be able to unlock them. But maybe the raccoon would be in there. The baby locks are no deterrent for them.
A few years ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, I had been to Uijeongbu, and in that area there was like a pet store, and they sold a lot of, I would say, like exotic animals, not the ones that you commonly see at pet shops. And they had a raccoon, and I was seriously considering to get one as a pet because I was living alone at the time. I thought, yeah, I think I would like a little cute raccoon as a pet. And the only thing that stopped me was because it was way above what I was willing to pay. So I was like,
that's the only thing that stopped you?
Yeah. Wow. So I got a hamster instead.
Well, you could have had first-hand experience in this question. You could have been a raccoon owner.
I would have known how to help this woman.
Maybe you too would have been.
I would have been the woman overwhelmed. Yeah. Well, I guess it's just best stick to your cats and dogs and your hamsters and fish. Maybe even a bird, but stay away from the raccoons. Let the raccoons stay out in the wild where they're supposed to be. We hope you enjoyed this article, and make sure you keep using the vocabulary in your day-to-day. And we'll see you in the next article. Goodbye.
Gruff.
Gruff.
Primate.
Primate.
Forage.
Forage.
Backfire.
Backfire.
Mob.
Mob.